guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sydney and I am a fantasy writer. And today I am going to be sharing with you the mistakes that I made while writing my first draft of my WIP, Return to Illyria, which the title is subjected to change because I hate it. But I guess we'll see. So I have about, I think 11 things I wanted to talk about, so let's just jump right into this. Number 1. I did not know my characters well enough to be telling this story. As I wrote it, I just didn't know enough of what each character's purpose was or what their ultimate goal was at the end. And I had some characters where I didn't know whether they were on the good side or the bad side. I just kind of wrote around it. I mean, it worked, but it leaves me with a problem on where to go with their character. So with draft 2, I am trying to dive more into each of my characters and to get to know them more on a personal level and to know what their purpose is within the story, their likes, their dislikes, and what their goal is and how they're going to obtain it. Because in the first draft, my characters were bland. They came across as so bland, in my opinion anyway. They had some characteristics that I liked that was coming through, but it wasn't consistent and it changed and they did end up becoming bland. Number 2, I have shared this before that my first draft was severely underwritten. Like, I wrote 35 chapters and it was less than 40,000 words, and that's not good. Like, it needed to be at least 70,000 words. And so my scenes were coming off as simple and straightforward. There was no real life behind any of my scenes. Like, my descriptions were bland, there weren't descriptions, and it was too straightforward, and it came across how, like, it was almost script-like. There was no action, there was no elaboration within it. Now in draft 2, I am giving life to my story. There will be more descriptions on the locations they're at. There'll be talk about the weather. There's going to be talk about their celebrations, more about the world and everything in it. Number 3, and this is one thing that like makes me cringe as I read back, and I can't believe I did this, but I made things so easy for my characters. Like, I sent them on a quest and nothing bad really ever happened. There was a couple incidents which are main things in the story, but other than that, I made them attaining their goals super easy and convenient. I handed them their stuff on a silver platter. And that is changing in draft 2. It's going to be harder for them. They're going to fail. And it's going to make their characters grow. And I am so looking forward to seeing what challenges I'm going to make them face. Because they got to work for it. I can't just hand it to them, or they're never going to learn or grow on their own. Got to talk about them like they're children. Number 4. And this, I had worse things going on when I first kind of started writing it, and I had to delete things and I had to change things thanks to my CP that pointed them out. But I had a lot of Insta stuff. Like, there was sort of kind of instant love. I mean, I dragged it out a little bit more, but not enough. It happened super quick, and there was like no rhyme or reason why it happened the way it happened. They had really no other interaction before all this, so that's changing. There was insta love, and then there were insta connections, like instant friendships, instant other romances, just so much instant stuff that I didn't let anything simmer or bloom in an entertaining manner. And yeah, it made it boring and too instilly, and as I think about it now, I'm rolling my eyes at what I wrote. So now they're getting more interaction in between. I'm going to make it a slow burn. It's gonna kill me to do because I just want them to love each other. But yeah, things are not gonna happen in the way they did in the first draft because it doesn't make sense. Like, that just doesn't happen in real life. So There's gonna be more connecting with friendships. There's gonna be more interaction, and they're just not gonna like jump in and smooching each other. Number 5, and this is kind of a big thing, I had like no subplots. I mean, I had a few in there, but they weren't good. And now I am adding more, and I'm elaborating on them, and I'm making them flow. So what I had in my story was expected. It wasn't interesting, and it was boring. It was all the Insta stuff, and nothing made sense. It was too easy. I hope that makes sense, because like I'm struggling with subplots a little bit. So any tips, leave them down in the comments. Send a girl some advice. Number 6, I failed to make my readers fall in love or fall in hate with my characters. Spoiler, people are gonna die within this series, and I haven't put that connection into the story to make the readers feel that when it happens. Like, I want them to be devastated when this happens, and I haven't set the story up for that to happen. Like, you really don't really know much about this character, and that's a problem, because nobody's really gonna care when he dies, because it has no rhyme or reason with how I have it set up. So with this rewrite, I am making them more likable, or I'm making them more hateable in a sense. I want, like, the people that are bad, I want the readers to hate them, to loathe them, to want to like hurt them themselves. I just want to have my characters to have impact on the reader in whatever form the character should be inflicting on them. Number 7, I lost my MC, my main character. Not in the way you think. I didn't lose her in my writing. Like, she didn't just disappear, but like I lost who she was and who I wanted her to be and how I wanted her to grow through this series and this book. And she changed along the way, and not in a good way. I made her come across as weak, and that's not what I wanted. I mean, parts of it, she needs to show a little bit of weakness, but like I made her like completely wimpy. Like, it's not her, it's not who I envisioned as her, and so that's got to be fixed. Number 8, I didn't give enough backstory. Like, I know you're not supposed to info dump and you're supposed to do it gradually, but like I left out important things that I've been able to already implement in my second draft, and I'm only on chapter 3. Like, I've given so much more details into the things that are forbidden in this world, some history stuff, their celebrations, and just little things like that. And I had a freaking, what do I want to call this? I had a breakthrough yesterday, and things just kind of fell into place. I've been struggling with chapter 3, and then something just like, it fell right into place perfectly. And I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to give away spoilers, but the coincidence that it's this celebration and this stuff's about to happen, oh my god, it just blew my mind, and I am ecstatic about it. So, whew, you just gotta push your way through those writer blocks, people, because good shit happens at the end of those sometimes. Not every time, but most of the time you're gonna come out with a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow after the storm. Number 9, and this is so sad, but my story was predictable. Like, you could predict what was gonna happen because I made things so easy and so boring and bland, and my characters were just wah wah wah. There was nothing like surprising coming around the corner, and I want to leave my readers wanting more and keep them guessing on the edge of their seats, and that's not happening in draft 1. So I am working on draft 2 to implement less predictability. I have some quirky surprises coming in that I am excited to see how readers feel about it, but that also like doesn't come in till like towards the end, and I need more to happen throughout the story to keep the readers interested to get to all these good juicy bits. Number 10, I outlined my first draft, and I thought my outline was perfect, and because I've been working on it forever and I had scrapped so many different outlines, and as it turned out, my outline wasn't very good. It was a start, but my whole story structure wasn't it wasn't where it needed to be. It needs to be tweaked. My plot, my climax, my rising and falling and all that stuff needs to be worked on. And like I said, I need more subplots. I need everything to tie together perfectly. I need to throw in challenges. I need to throw in surprises. And so I'm working still. I should have had it done before Camp Nano, but I have most of it done and I'm kind of just going with the flow right now. But my outline has now grown and I hope it works out for draft 2, because draft 1 was lame. Horrible. I just want to like start it on fire. Number 11, and this is the last one that I have for you guys right now, and it is my chapters were too short and in the wrong point of view. My first draft had 4 points of view and I have dropped one in draft 3 as of right now. I don't know if it's gonna stay. He might get a chapter here or there, but he's no longer a consistent storyteller in my story. So right now I just have 3. I might add a different point of view that wasn't in the first draft and wasn't the other character, but I haven't quite decided. That character will definitely have a point of view probably in book 2 or at least book 3. But with my short chapters and them being in the wrong point of view, it kind of did affect my word count and it being so underwritten, because I didn't have enough, and it felt like some of those chapters were forced. They were just put there for the convenience of it, and so that's why I have decided to change points of view around, and I am pushing for those longer chapters. Some short chapters are good, but when these characters only have short chapters, there's kind of probably a problem, which there was in my case. So one of them was eliminated completely, and now I am putting more depth into the other one that had shorter chapters, and I'm switching things around. So that is all I have for you today, and yeah, that's just some of the things that I could come up with that were mistakes in my first draft. And mistakes are going to happen. Your first draft is just the bare bones of your story, and they suck. But they got to be written. If you don't start somewhere, then you're never going to start. And so I started. It was garbage, but now my draft 2, only being 3 chapters in, is so much better. And I am thankful for my first draft. It's my baby. So yeah, that is all I have for you today. Those are my 11 mistakes that I made in my first draft. So I hope that you can learn from some of my mistakes and try and avoid them in your first draft, or even in your later drafts. You might have these same problems as you go through. I might even still have some of these problems with my second draft, but I'm hoping that I got the hang of this and can eliminate most, if not all, of these problems. So if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, leave me some comments down below, and hit that subscribe button on your way out. It just lightens up my day every time I see one of those little subscribers pop up. I will see you guys next time. Bye!